Welcome to the Patok Show. I'm your host Dominic George, and we're back with the second segment. We are talking about 4 things that make or break your love. And with me is a very experienced and a good friend of mine, marriage therapist, and he has been doing this for a long time. He knows his stuff. And if you have any question, you remember you can text us to 22162 if I'm right. I hope I'm right. So, and you've been here before, man.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Karibu, thank you.
So, Victor.
Yeah.
Now, today we want to speak about those 4 things that make or break relationships, marriages, and all that.
Yeah.
That people don't talk about, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, the very first one. Let's go. Maybe. So we are talking about in-laws, finances, religion, and sex.
And sex. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So let's start with the in-laws, right? How bad is it? I mean, Pope Francis, makes jokes that mother-in-laws. That's where. I mean, how keen should someone be in the very beginning of a relationship about the influence of in-laws?
First and foremost, you must know the person who you're getting married to. I've always said that if you're getting into a relationship with someone, understand their background. There are a few things that you look at. First of all, look at, if it's a guy, look at his relationship with his mother. Very keen. If you see a guy is very close to his mother, the guy is, you can call his mommy's boy. We normally say that for a mommy's boy, the best way to deal with that person is befriend the mother.
Befriend the mother.
Because they come as one package. That's one package.
So you have to be aware that I'm marrying both the
mother and the son. Just be aware.
Okay.
Because these are the people, and you know them early during dating, you know them early during courtship, because they always want to consult their mother. These are the kind of mothers who would maybe want to pick a dress, a wedding dress for the bride to be, who's not even her own daughter. Yeah. We normally wear these dresses. We normally have our functions at this place. So you see, if it's a man who's going back to my mom said, let's ask my mom, let's see my mom, those are red flags. Just this one and the mother, befriend the mother. They come as a package.
So either you walk away early enough,
yes,
or you make a choice that I'm marrying 2 people.
I'm marrying 2 people and let me live with it.
Someone asked me a question though, Salam. I said, I have had this statement of, a good guy has to be close to the mother in a good way, close to the mother. And someone said, what about me? I have no relationship with my mother. Actually, I don't even like my mother that much. Does that make me a bad guy? Does it make me...
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Because when you get into your own house, you create your own rules. Yes, it can influence me, but I look at what strained that relationship. As I've always told people, full disclosure is critical when it comes to in-laws. Always tell the person you're going to get married to, by the way, the family I come from is like this. My mother is crazy. Yes. Tell them early, my mom will drive you nuts. My mother is picky. The problem is that people always pretend. I tell people that don't assume. My mom is good, she's good to me.
She's not going to be good to you.
Yeah. So let me not assume that if my wife is having a problem with my mom, I tell her, my mom is the best woman on earth. She's the best woman on earth to me. Yes. To you, she might be a monster. Yes. So always disclose. Tell someone, you know what, you're dealing with a woman who is crazy. Maybe my mother was, and my dad were in a bad marriage. Maybe my mom was left by my dad. My mother is a broken woman. Be open. Disclose fully. That's the first way you equip your spouse for your family. Because understand that all of us come from crazy families.
True. There is always a crazy one in the family somewhere.
We all come from crazy families.
And to tell your future spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend that this is how it is. It's a point of love, actually.
Yeah.
What about this question? I have seen that sometime there is one of, maybe it's especially a man who says the whole village comes to live in his house. Maybe you're living in a 1 bedroom, and then the whole family and the extended they move from the village and come and live in your house. And when the wife says, look, this is not right, we don't even have privacy, and the man says, they educated me, what is the problem with you? What do you do in those circumstances?
You see, now that's where now also rules of engagement start. Because one thing that I always tell people talk about once they're getting serious is discuss boundaries. How far does my family come? Because remember what I said, there's the way that my family is, which was normal to me. Maybe personally I come from a family where guys just talk. We just talk. We are loud people who can talk from morning to evening. My wife comes from a family where that's not really the norm. it's a bit different where she comes from. I came from a family where, birthdays used to pass. No one talked about birthdays. You know, yeah, birthdays come and go. It's the end of the year, so you realize, so and so turned 18. So we never really bothered.
The only thing you say, umezeka
squeeze. Umefika miaka ya kuchukua ID. That's when we actually. I think my dad knew when I turned 18 because I needed an ID.
That's when you realize.
Yeah, but my wife to this day, in their family, birthdays are important issues. So to me, where I've come from, the normalcy was what? Birthdays are not critical. Where she came from, it's very normal for birthdays to be.
To celebrate them.
So the way my family operates, I should know that it's absolutely abnormal to my spouse. True. I should know that to my spouse, my family are the craziest people on earth.
So what is normal to me might not necessarily be normal to my spouse.
It's abnormal to my spouse.
I need to understand that.
I now should train her into it. True, yeah. And I now talk and find out, okay, fine, where I come from, I was educated by the whole village. At some point, they'll want to come.
But also, I think from the point of the in-laws, you need to understand if you're an in-law. If your brother has just gotten married or a sister, don't go to live there like forever. No.
Now, this is actually taught by the ones who are in the marriage. You're the one who tells your sister, please, give us time. Jikoni si yako, jikoni ni ya mwenyewe. It is actually you to give them breaks. It's the woman tell the dad, no, dad, please stay away from this. Don't chip in. We will find our way. True. But now when you find a situation whereby maybe we are broke and now maybe we are now maybe my wife is going maybe back to her family, or I'm going to my family, tell my mom do this or do this. We have to have rules of engagement. What do we disclose?
Yes.
How far does my family come?
Yes.
If my sister comes at high speed, wants to enter the master bedroom, and because I am her younger brother, mimi na mwambia, hey, uko tuongele huko mbali. Yeah, don't come here. Don't move here.
Yes,
yeah, it's you to tell them. At times families can fight you for it. At times your own family can hate you for it. Actually, you can go to war. I know people who have not talked to their in-laws about 6-7 years
since they got
yeah. And also be patient with this relationship.
But I think also it's true, even in addition to patience, you also need to defend some time. Even as you tell your wife or your husband about 1-2 things, you need to defend him in front of your in-laws first.
Yes, yes.
Not to start now pointing fingers to her right in front of your in-laws. I think some people do that. Anyway, let's go to the second point, religion.
Yes.
How critical is this?
Religion is extremely critical. I'm telling this because it is one of the things you hold dear to our heart. The presence of it or the absence of it is something that we believe, because religion falls within our value system. And you enter into any relationship, your value system determines how the relationship works. It's my value system that determines who I'm with. It's my value system that determines who I accommodate. So if my value system is I don't believe in God, for example,
yes.
Yeah, and you come saying that you believe in God, when you're dating, it can look like a very trivial issue. Once you get married, it becomes a serious issue, because now kids are involved. Where do they go?
Yeah, do they go to the dad or with the mom?
Yeah, where do they go? And when we are in a crisis, where do we run to?
And let's be honest, sometimes there is a complete maybe dislike of. Let's be honest, sometimes you find that between maybe churches, between denominations, I don't like your denomination. Your denomination believes like this, and that is evil, right?
Yeah.
So during the love period, that might not happen. And then when the feelings go, as you're saying, it might come up.
It comes up. And now we forget that it's good to know what are we feeding, both of us. And I've seen people putting aside the things of religion and saying, no, me, I'm an Anglican and he's a Catholic and we're okay with it. Because you don't live together. So you're okay with it.
Yes.
When you live together, you get into the car after the honeymoon, where do you go?
She's saying Hail Mary, you're like, hey.
Why are you putting this in the kids want to be baptized. Where do they go? So suddenly now, maybe you go to your church and your pastor, your priest tells you 1, 2, 3 things about marriage. You come home, my priest said that the man should do this. And you don't look, no, my pastor said something and said that you're the one who's supposed to do it. So now, and religion forms a huge part of our values. Definitely. So it's good to know our values growing at the same place. And I've told people, if you're in different denominations, if you're in different religions, one of you must give. one of you must follow the other. That is a must.
It's a must.
There's no way you'll work separately.
So
one must influence the other. So choose.
So do not. One good point is, do not think that it's a small thing. Religion is not small.
It's not a small issue.
Okay.
I've seen couples in my office who have walked away because of religion.
Because of religion.
Yeah.
Where do you practice in case someone wants to get in touch with you?
My office is on Sports Road.
Sports Road.
Yeah, Sports Road. Yeah, Westlands. I'm available Monday through to Friday.
Monday through to Friday.
Yes.
Personal or couple. Those who engage in all that.
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, finances. Pesa. I think there's some statistics that show that finances really lead to infidelity and separation, isn't it?
Yeah, and finances are the number 2 reason why marriages break worldwide.
Which is number 1?
Number 1 is pornography.
Oh, pornography.
Yes.
Okay.
Story for next week.
Another day.
Yes.
All right.
Finances are very critical because for what money means to a woman and what money means to a man is as different as heaven is from earth. Money to a man means respect and honor, which is a critical need for a man. Money to a woman means security. So so they mean different things. That's why money can easily bring conflict, because when there is no money, there's that a man caves in when there is no money, and when there's no money, there's that a woman reacts. Now, why is money a huge problem? Money is a huge problem because also apart from that, each one of us have got our own language of money. So the same people say I've got languages of love. I have my money language. My wife has her own money language. So what is my money language also? Once I understand that, now it reduces conflict. Because before even we get to budgeting, I tell people this, before you run into budgeting, before you run into saving and planning and doing all those things, first of all, let's determine, what's my money language? Because it's the demon that will creep up in everything we do. In budgeting, my money language will creep in. Number 2, you can't deal with finances unless you're friends. You and your spouse must have a relationship first.
Which means communication.
You must know how to talk and understand each other. You must understand what are my luxuries and what are not my luxuries. If you don't get that difference, then even budgeting we shall actually fight. I'll give a very good example of what money means to 2 people. I had a client who lost his job. His wife went out in the goodness of her heart. So my husband is at home, he's miserable, has no job, let me buy him a shoe. She went and bought this guy a shoe worth 10,000 shillings. Nice shoe. Yes, leather.
I don't know why I can almost predict what happened.
The guy never wore those shoes. He didn't wear them. He totally could not wear those shoes.
Why?
Because to him, that means disrespect. To a man, that's disrespect. It means that, oh, you seen a pesa? Now you're showing me how much money you have. That is disrespect. If this man's wife was in the same situation and he bought her a shoe worth 10K, he's the best husband on earth.
Definitely.
Because buying her a shoe speaks security. Buying him a shoe speaks disrespect.
So if this woman had come to you, take for example, before she bought that shoe, what would you have told her?
I would have told her, give him your ATM. Tell him to go buy himself a shoe.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Give him the power to choose what he wants
for himself.
Give him the power to choose. It's like when a woman goes and buys a car and brings the car home. This is our family car. Some men have to pray before they enter that car. They really pray, and even they're praying that this car should just break down.
But don't you think? Sometimes this is. I understand. I'm a guy. I understand this is what you're saying. Definitely, it comes to me automatically when you say it.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's also a bit of insecurity? Don't you think it's a bit of personal insecurity where the ego overcomes conscience?
No, it's primarily understanding each person's language. As I've said, to a woman, security speaks. To a man, respect speaks. That's how God wired us. We can't change it. That's how it is. It's not the wisdom to understand that what is the end goal. You see, the end goal is we want to buy a family car, right? It's the woman who has got the money. How does she balance this out? Yeah, of course you look at the guy as well. If the man is a criminal, then you ignore some things because you can give the guy money and disappears.
Yes.
You never know. But if at all the relationship has got friendship, as I said, if there's friendship and understanding, then talking about money becomes easy because I can only openly talk about my money language. I can say to me, money represents love. When I have it, I want to spend. I want to give the people I love, my mother, my sister, even I love, I just want to give them. To me, that's what it means. To me, money means success. Yeah.
So you need to come to a commonality
And
of
yeah.
a certain commonality about how we spend money. Just
Yes.
the same thing about religion and even in-laws.
Yes.
So it's more of a commonality, coming to a point of an agreement, a
Yes.
convergence. And now we go to the most critical, I guess.
Yes.
Because you said pornography is sexual. So I decided to put this also as the last one, so that you can close it up. Sex, right?
Yeah.
This is one of the most. One couple told me, I think sex is overrated. In their opinion, it's overrated. Another couple said sex is worship, but it has this bonding effect if it is done in a commitment in an area of security. How critical is it, and do we still need to emphasize the place of sex within marriage, or is it too late?
I think we should, because unfortunately, which is a fact anyway, is there's more marriage out. I mean, there's more sex out of marriage than there's sex inside marriage.
True.
Why is there's more sex out of marriage? It's because the pressures that come in marriage and the dynamics of marriage are not with those who are not committed.
Yeah.
So it's easy to be the next thing to do. When you're married, it becomes a bit different. There are children, there are things to discuss, there's planning, there's priorities, there's goals, there's what, there's religion, there's in-laws. There's a whole wiring of things that comes together. So in marriage, actually, it's not talked about. It's not as much as it should be. But truth of the matter is this, that God made us in a very interesting way. That sex is important. I'm not saying critical, but sex is important in a marriage. It's almost as important as conversation.
Okay.
It's almost as important as conversation, because it's the opportunity for us to be vulnerable. Yes. It's the opportunity for us to be vulnerable.
So sex is its own conversation.
Sex by itself
is a conversation.
Yeah, and I've always said this because as much as for example, let me use this example. Women, to a woman, sex is not as important in marriage as it is to a man. It's good to note that. To a woman, she wants more of non-sexual touching and non-sexual communication. This in turn turns out to become sexual. A man, on the other hand, his wiring and thinking is constantly wired towards sex.
The preparedness of what you're saying is the preparedness of a man to sex is like a switch.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I don't know what to compare a woman with is osmosis. It's a while.
It takes a while.
Which means the man has to slow himself down. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying that. And now what happens is that why it becomes an issue in marriage also is that, and that's why pornography is a huge issue. Why is pornography a huge issue? It's because that particular part that is supposed to happen the most in marriage doesn't seem to happen. Because in marriage you talk about other things. We are angry at this. I am not interested in this. Let's stay away from this. And I've always said it's important for couples to critically talk about sex. And I've said this to women across the board whenever I give my talks. I tell them, if the man in your life cannot talk to you about sex, it means he can't talk to you about money. He can't talk to you about work. If he can't talk to you about sex, then he can talk to you about anything that is close to his heart. And as I've said, sex and conversation are brothers. They go together. Yeah. As communication is critical to a woman, so is sex critical to a man.
Very good. This is a very important aspect, as you've mentioned. And even as we close up, I want to, what is it, are there some bad effects for engaging in a multiplicity of sexual encounters way before I am committed to that one person? Is there something, what is wrong with it anyway? If someone asks you, so what is wrong with it anyway? I mean, I'm going to marry him anyway, probably, right? So what is wrong with it of, experimenting, knowing how long I last, as they say, yeah?
One thing that we forget as human beings is that sex is a natural instinct. That's the one thing that we have come to forget. I don't see when dogs want to mate going to practice. They don't even practice. And they are low in the food chain.
Maybe we don't see them. They practice at night. Okay.
They're very low in the food chain. And actually, they don't even practice. Dogs don't have to watch pornography to know how it's done. But you see, human beings who are the brightest of all, we have taken what is supposed to be a natural instinct, and now we want to make it to become a whole thing that requires practicing and mentorship and reward. And it's a natural instinct. And so I personally don't think that that there's room I need to practice. Why do I need to practice? It's a natural instinct. I don't need to practice to breathe. What I need to practice, what I need to learn is what are the surrounding factors. For example, if I'm a man, I need to understand a woman, know that a woman is wired connectively. I should know that if she's having a bad day, she's having a bad mood, then her sexuality is low. I must know if I've not paid the bills, then her mood is low. All how things are wired into one.
Yes.
As a woman, she should still understand that my husband has compartments. It has compartments. One compartment is called sex.
Yes.
It's independent of other compartments.
Yes.
Yes. They don't meet anywhere. So these are things I just must take time to know. That's what I should know. And maybe find out, but other things, because the connection that comes with marriage is the ability to be able to be vulnerable and connect sexually without being guilty. You see, the problem with your practice and error is that you can't, but anxiety that comes with it, because you're stealing, so the anxiety that comes with it, it's what makes us think that when you get married, you'll be very compatible sexually. Because of the anxiety and the adrenaline that goes up and everything. I'm excited. When you get married, realize you have to talk about kids, you have to talk about bills, you have to talk about diseases.
Those are an exciting thing.
Things come now, suddenly, watch a tuti bus. And that's why in marriages, we actually struggling with this within marriage. And I said, we need to talk about it more. I think, talk about it, if you're dating, talk about it. Ask them, what is the idea of sex? What is your view of sex?
The spirituality, the background, the sets of values.
Yeah.
We've got to close this up, Victor.
Yes.
And thank you. This has been very powerful and very educating. I think I'm going to call you back on some issues you talked about, pornography, friendship, and all that.
Yeah.
We need to talk about more and explore it a little bit more. And I thank you.
Yeah.
And I wish you the very best of luck. All right.
Thank you so much.
So that has been Victor Salamba talking to us about in-laws, finances, religion, and sex, and how much critical they are into making relationships work or not work. And we're going to have a short break right now, and I thank him again for making time to be with us. Don't go away. We shall come back with a young little girl doing some Bible, reciting some poems for us. So don't go away as we close it up.